So this is an interesting part. I just glossed over this article before, but yeah, I noticed this. One of the actors starts talking about Raka, which Raka was probably, I think he was my favorite character. I really like Noah though, and I really liked his journey. But Raka, the orangutans, are always kind of been my favorites, and I loved Raka in this. So I was really disappointed to see what ended up happening to his character. Again, like we're talking spoilers, we're talking the future of the franchise. So if you haven't seen it, Raka apparently dies. He gets swept away trying to save May. A bridge collapses and they get swept away in this really powerful flowing river. But I loved Raka. He was a steward of Caesar's legacy. So he had all of the knowledge of like the lessons of Caesar. And he was kind of the sage talking to Noah, talking about like what Caesar stood for and the lessons of not all humans are bad and that apes together are strong, that kind of thing. Anyway, so we didn't see his body technically. At the time I was like, is he dead? Can they not swim? We just never see him again. But Proximus Caesar, I guess in the same vein, we don't really see for sure if they're dead. So they may not have killed off Raka or Proximus Caesar, the main baddie in this. So the interviewer asks, we don't see Raka die on screen. Is he really dead? So this is the actor who played Proximus Caesar. He says, did you see Raka die? I didn't see him die. Did you see him die? I saw Proximus kind of fall. Okay, so Owen Teague is the actor who plays Noah. This is the part where I saw about like, what, Raka may be alive? The interviewer asked Owen, after being betrayed by May, how much will Proximus' influence continue to impact your character going forward? Owen Teague responds, I think it depends on what happens going forward. I think Noah's going to be struggling a lot with the angel and demon on his shoulders now, which is Raka on one side and then Proximus on the other. Which one's the angel and which one's the demon? I don't know. Well, I think Raka's the angel, but okay. I think it depends on what May and the rest of the humans do in the future, which way Noah ends up going. So when he pointed out Raka, I'm like, is Raka alive? Then it goes to Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes may not have killed off Proximus Caesar and Raka, and the actors saying, did you see him die? Because if you didn't see him die, then Kevin Durant says, I didn't die. I didn't see you die, but you fell from a very big height. Stop putting that out in the universe. So they kind of laugh about it, but I think they were also teasing that, yeah, they could be back. If you don't see anyone die for sure, then it's still up in the air. And I think out of anyone who would have survived, it's Raka. Because he just got swept up in the water. He could have easily just, I don't know, they have strong swimming arms, and they're smart. It was just hard for me to believe that, yeah, he perished that way. Yeah, I do wonder about Proximus, though. I think he was an interesting villain. Kevin, how do you think Proximus would want to be taken going forward? And Kevin Durant says, that's a very difficult question. I feel like he still believes in his ideology and the way that he interpreted Caesar's words. But I think he has definitely been humbled. It'd be very interesting to see if or when he climbs out of the water. I don't know. I really have no idea what comes of that. He actually wants to use the technology that humans had, stuff that they innovated, to just benefit himself. He's not against solely like anything that humans came up with. He's not covering that up. He wants to embrace the technology. He wants to embrace that innovation in order to serve ape kind, ultimately, so he can be the leader of all ape civilization. So I think that's a natural evolution in the franchise itself when it comes to the villain. That makes sense. I thought that was kind of interesting. The actor continues, I can't help but think there would be humility there, but I don't know. He sees something in Noah that he's never seen in another ape. And I think he would love to somehow be a part of that, whether it be to manipulate it or to make it his own. I have no idea. So what did we learn at the end of this movie? And Kevin continues, maybe going all the way out like that wasn't exactly the answer. But if you think about it, he knows that these creatures, humans smell bad. They're getting close. They're going to get in there somehow. They know more than we do. That's what he's always thinking. He can't go to Eagletown and say, I have this idea that maybe if you all come and work with me. No, it's like, you're coming with me because we don't have time. That's where he was at with that. So I don't know what kind of humility he's actually capable of. It'd be interesting. A lot of interesting things could arise from it. Fingers crossed, toes crossed, everything's crossed on my body all the time. So there's some interesting things here in terms of Proximus and Raka, but they don't really share a lot of concrete details about where the franchise is headed, especially when it comes to humanity. They probably just don't know a lot. If Wes Ball was being interviewed, we'd probably know a little bit more. The actors are just speculating, but they don't really know. They're just kind of same thing we're doing. But we'll see. I mean, the first of this new era, there's something there that's missing, that's failing to connect with, fans and general audiences. So we'll have to see moving forward. I don't think May really did anything. I don't know. I really didn't like her character. I didn't get her motivations, and I feel like they did a poor job establishing her character. I liked her better when she was mysterious, but when they revealed everything, I'm like, I don't know if I like that. If I like what she's doing. But maybe that's the intent because the apes are where it's at now. But yeah, I think you need some more substance there if you're gonna attract more eyes, more audiences. Obviously, Andy Serkis was a huge draw as Caesar. Owen Teague, I'm not sure. I haven't heard of him, but I think he did a great job as playing Noah. But again, this is the start of a new franchise and they're having to reestablish it. It's been so long since the last movie came out too. But I really liked where the franchise is. I like this era. It's been hundreds of years since the rise of the apes and 100 years after the legacy of Caesar. So there's some interesting things there. But what I hoped I would see in terms of the humans has gone in a different direction than I was expecting, and I just hope that they kind of have it be more intriguing. I liked to see the descent of human civilization. I thought that was interesting. Fall of humans and rise of the apes. That was really well done, but now it's like, what's the story? Because I don't think that apes are going to be reverting to their original state. So is the future them just going to be battling it out for dominance ultimately? I do hope that the astronauts get reintroduced at some point. They've teased it. We know they're out there. We know they're lost. I think there was more time when Charlton Heston's astronauts, when they returned to Earth, it was definitely a longer period of time, I think, than just several hundred years when they returned to the planet. So maybe further on, they'll want to reintroduce them. Maybe it was just too early at this point. Maybe ape civilization needs to be more established. The story is now about how the apes destroy themselves because they still aren't smart enough to remember to work together. That's why they keep bringing up together Ape Strong. Oh, that's why it was kind of impressive to see Proximus Caesar have all of this power and bring everyone together like under a oppressive regime. But still, if they continue to learn in the ways of Caesar, yeah, they can. But ultimately, they also have the humans to contend with that are wanting to get back to their original state too and right those wrongs. But I don't think it's happening. That's not what this universe is. I think we've that whole battle for dominance storyline play out a lot. I just don't think they did it well in War for the Planet of the Apes, personally. I did not like the villain in that. Because of that movie, it kind of left a little bit of a bad taste in my mouth. Dawn for the Planet of the Apes was so good. And yeah, Bad Ape was a really good character. I love that. And I liked aspects of the story where humanity and the apes landed eventually. But the story itself was kind of, I wasn't a fan of. So I was really excited for this new era, for the ape civilization to move on. And for the humans to like be feral and be mute and all that, just have fallen so far from where they were. So I was looking forward to seeing what we saw originally in the first film. So that's why I was a little taken aback. Okay, so we already have like smart humans around. So I just assumed that, are those the astronauts? Is May the one surviving astronaut? But yeah, so that was in my head. So I was a little disappointed with how her story ultimately ended up.